When Modern Warfare 2019 Edition first released and Activision confirmed the return of MW3's survival mode, there was a lot of speculation about whether or not this new rendition of survival mode would be able to compare to the original game mode in MW3. When Modern Warfare 2019 first released, I was so excited to get my hands on survival mode. Back in MW3, it was by far my favorite way to play the game, more so than multiplayer or traditional spec ops. But of course, Activision went and made the game mode a PlayStation exclusive for the first year of release. But after a full year of waiting, survival mode was finally released to us Xbox and PC players on October 1st of 2020. And after 7 months of having the game mode, I feel like enough time has passed for me to have an accurate opinion of Modern Warfare's survival mode. Did it live up to the hype? How does it compare to MW3's survival mode? Is the game mode even worth playing at all? Join me as I answer all of these questions and more in this video. Now this comparison is going to be divided into 3 categories: the difficulty of the game mode, the replayability of the game mode, and how fun the game mode is in general. Gauging the difficulty of these game modes is in itself a difficult task. To accurately say if the game mode is too easy or too hard, you first need to ask yourself this question: do I prefer to play survival mode solo or with other people? If you prefer to play solo in survival mode, then do not touch Modern Warfare survival mode with a 10-foot fucking pole. This game mode is nearly unplayable solo in Modern Warfare. I honestly don't even know where to start with all of the problems this game mode has if you are a solo player. I suppose the best place to start are the problems with the AI and AI spawning itself. You see, in MW3, AI spawned at a decent distance away from you, giving you some time to prepare yourself for the wave. These enemies were also not particularly aggressive. They were numerous, but not suffocatingly so. In Modern Warfare, the AI are cranked up to 11. It is insane. To start, the AI literally spawns directly on top of you. You have absolutely no time to react before you are getting shot. Second, even when the AI spawns at a reasonable distance away from you, they are so unbelievably aggressive that by the time you are done killing the people that spawn on top of you, they are already there and beginning to kill your ass. I mean seriously, look at this. Why are there so many? I'm playing Call of Duty, not auditioning for a Brazzers shoot. Why the fuck am I getting ganged on by 8 different dudes at once? The AI itself is also just flat out too powerful. In MW3, enemies took a decent amount of time to actually get your health to 0. It wasn't so easy that you didn't have to try, but you also were not playing on hardcore mode. Modern Warfare's AI, however, is on veteran difficulty. You can die in sometimes only 2 shots, and when the waves of enemies can reach upwards of 30 guys, you tend to get shot a few times. Although to be fair, survival mode has armor to help mitigate the damage that enemies deal to you, and MW3 spawns you with at least some armor to help make sure that you don't die instantly. Modern Warfare does not give you this luxury. You are just dropped in a location with a Glock and told to go fuck yourself. The game forces you to camp if you want to make any sort of progress at all, which in my opinion is not a fun way of playing the game. Honestly, if I were to state all of the ways that Modern Warfare fucked over solo players, I would be here for an hour and a half. If you are playing Modern Warfare survival mode with other people, however, whether it be with randoms or with a group of buddies, the game is actually pretty fun to play. When the enemies are split between 3 or 4 people, it becomes manageable. Not so easy that it isn't engaging, but definitely not so difficult that it makes it unfun. MW3, on the other hand, as I said, is actually manageable and fun to play solo. The enemies are still tough enough to take you out if you are careless, especially in the later rounds, but they aren't so difficult that you need to sweat your balls off every second that you are playing. If you want to play MW3 with other people, then good luck with that in 2021. These servers are absolutely dead in survival mode, and I do not know a single person that actually has MW3 on PC besides me, so there isn't really any way for me to measure how fun MW3 survival mode is with friends, but I can imagine it is a decent experience. I feel like both MW3 Survival and Modern Warfare Survival both have good replay value. It is certainly one of the game mode's main strengths. I still think MW3 Survival is just as fun 9.5 years later. That isn't to say these two games' replayability is equal. MW3 definitely does certain things better than Modern Warfare and vice versa. Take the map selection for example. Modern Warfare gives the player a choice of 10 maps, all with the exact same difficulty. This gives the player decent replayability. Been playing Toxic Backlot a little too much? Hop on St. Petrograd for a completely different atmosphere. Despite Modern Warfare having decent map selection, it pales in comparison to MW3's 16 different base map selections across 4 different difficulties. There are even DLC maps for the truly hardcore fans who aren't satisfied by this already great variety of maps. As I said, the maps are split across 4 different difficulties, each difficulty having 4 maps that correspond to them in the non-DLC levels. These difficulties range from easy maps to insane maps. Easy maps are exactly as they sound. Easy. The enemies have worse weapons and less health, and there are generally less enemies. Enemies in easy mode include dogs and boss enemies such as choppers and juggernauts. The perfect difficulty for either a warm-up or just some casual fun. Normal mode is the standard level at which the game mode was meant to be played. A bit more difficult than easy mode, but still just casual fun for the more skilled players. You still have the enemies from easy mode to worry about, but also new enemies such as chem soldiers and riot shields. The third difficulty is hard mode. This difficulty is when the game starts to become a bit less casual and a bit more serious. Enemies are much higher tier in this mode, and even more difficult enemies such as claymore experts begin to appear. The final difficulty is insane mode, and it is exactly what it sounds like, insane. The highest level enemies, the most variety of enemies that you will have to face. These maps start to cross into the territory of Modern Warfare levels of difficulty if you play solo. It truly lives up to its name. In regards to maps, MW3 has to take the cake for the most amount of variety and replayability, but weapon choice and customization is a different story. MW3 gives you 42 weapons to choose from across 7 different varieties. These weapons range from handguns to LMGs. The main issue with MW3's weapons isn't the amount of weapons you have to choose from, but the limitations in regards to attachments. For assault rifles and LMGs, you get a choice of either 1 or 2 attachments if you are lucky. Some weapons, like handguns, don't even get the choice to have an attachment put on. This pales in comparison to Modern Warfare's truly excellent variety in regards to weapons and weapon attachments. Modern Warfare gives you upwards of 65 weapons to choose from, ranging from assault rifles to riot shields, with most of these weapons giving you dozens of choices for attachments. You could put on a laser sight, a suppressor, different barrels, even specialized perks for your weapons. The variety in Modern Warfare's weapons is so good, it can sometimes even be a bit overwhelming for new players. You really can't run out of new combinations of weapons and attachments to try. In regards to weapons and attachments, Modern Warfare absolutely has the advantage over MW3, without a doubt. This section is for aspects of either game that don't exactly fit into the 2 previous categories, but are still significant enough to warrant being mentioned. Starting off with the graphics. MW3's graphics aren't terrible, but the game is 10 years old after all. The graphics are beginning to look dated. Compared to Modern Warfare's graphics, it isn't even a competition. Modern Warfare's graphics are worlds ahead of MW3. The same applies to general gunplay. MW3's gunplay is still fun, and it works well, but Modern Warfare is still just that much better. The guns in Modern Warfare feel meatier and more real, less like the arcadey feel that MW3 has. Both of these points are big wins for Modern Warfare. There are also more minor quality of life things that both games do well, like how Modern Warfare gives the player the option to look at the entire map on the screen instead of just a mini-map in the corner, something that MW3 doesn't offer. MW3 though also has quality of life stuff that Modern Warfare can't offer. This mainly revolves around the shops where you purchase guns, kill streaks, shit like that. The big issue with Modern Warfare revolving around these shops is that you can't use them mid-round. No kill streaks, no new guns, nothing like that. The only thing that you can get during a round in Modern Warfare is ammo, and since you only get 30 seconds intermission between these rounds, you do not have nearly enough time to get new weapons, and upgrade those weapons in between one round. So when a round ends, it is just a mad dash to the nearest shop to get whatever you can, because you know damn well that you are not upgrading your gun and getting a kill streak in one intermission. There are also some minor mechanics in Modern Warfare that are just flat out fucking stupid. Like how in Azir Cave, whenever you try to aim down sights, your character doesn't aim down sights at all. They do this stupid ass tilt my gun slightly and zoom in a little bit. It doesn't matter if you have a scope equipped, or if you don't even have a laser sight on your gun. You will always do this stupid ass half aim down sights, half hip fire. Absolutely stupid mechanic, and it ruins an otherwise decent map in my opinion. Also, can we please get Azure Cave in daytime? That would be sick. So, which version of survival is better? MW3 or Modern Warfare? It really depends on what you are looking for. Do you want a fun solo experience, whether it be casual playing or a challenging test of your skills? MW3 would most likely be the better option. Are you looking for a more team-oriented experience that balances difficulty and fun? Then go for Modern Warfare with a couple buddies. Are you a masochist looking to get a virtual anal fissure? Then Modern Warfare Solo is for you. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm unbearable. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider checking out my other videos. If you didn't enjoy this video, then, I don't know, call me a shitbird in the comments or something, and do whatever you want to do.